What is going on, YouTube and weight loss warriors? It's your boy C-Dub, and I'm back with another video. And today I got a special treat for you guys because I'm kind of going to take my journey, my very first video I ever did way back April 16th of 2018, and I'm going to bring that video to you and give you my thoughts about what I was talking about, where I was at then versus where I'm at now, and this massive 125-pound weight loss journey. I'm going to do it right after this. Sorry for the long intro there, but it's your boy. And if it's your first time ever clicking on the channel, I got a treat for you today. And if you've been a weight loss warrior for a long time, boy, are you going to like this one too. I'm going to break down my first video. It's going to be an amazing story about my journey and how I got where I'm at now with intermittent fasting and OMAD. And I really want to stress to you guys that this journey has been amazing, and to look back at my first video and break it down in this way is both emotional, and it kind of rekindles some of the memories and gives me a little bit more insight into where I was at when I started this journey. And I think that's powerful for all of you to watch because you get the opportunity to see where I'm at then and kind of see me right now today sitting in front of the camera. So I'm going to start right on in and hop right into the very first part of this, and I'll be back in 1 second. Hello world, I am C-Dub, and I'm here to share my experience with you guys on my journey to lose weight. And all of us that are on the heavy side of things have learned over time a million different ways to lose weight. As a matter of fact, I thought the best thing for me to do is do some research heading into this process. So I was weighing in at about 300 pounds, and I started to look at different diets and different angles and different ways to lose weight. And I was finding contradictory information. Some people were saying, the best thing to do is a low carb, high fat. Other people were saying that you definitely have to do, a vegan diet, and you've got to get yourself into all kinds of different answers. And I don't know if any of them fit, and the thought process to, oh, well, I have to count a calorie every single day for the rest of my life. Um, just didn't appeal to me as something that I really wanted to do or that I felt was necessary in the process. So stumbling across it, doing some research, I happened to just be listening to a podcast, Joe Rogan podcast, and Joe Rogan had a doctor on there that was talking about intermittent fasting. I will make sure that I put her name in the description down below, but she was just talking about it, and that led me to look up some more videos, and I saw another guy on his show talking about it. And the more exposure I got to learning what intermittent fasting was and the concepts behind intermittent fasting, I started to think this may be the ticket that I'm looking for. So, probably 3 weeks ago, we're now in April. We're April 16th today. So back at the end of last month, I started trying to do the intermittent fasting thing, and weight started falling off of me. And my family and I went to Las Vegas, where I tried to abide by intermittent fasting, but I definitely overate. And then started it. We got back a solid week this week, and I got on the scale, and I was 27 pounds lighter than I was when I started. And it just dawned on me that I hadn't changed much of what I was actually putting into my body. But when you're doing that, you begin to do more research and you put more time in and more effort. And I'm trying to learn more and more about it. And I've learned that down the line at some point, I'm going to have to change my eating habits. I'm going to have to pick one of these other things to help me navigate my way through to make sure I'm not overeating during my eating windows. So I started out at a 12-hour, I actually take that back, I did 16 and an 8. 16 hours of not eating, 8 hours of eating. So in a 16:8 ratio, I didn't watch a thing that I ate, and I ate over that 8 hour period of time. I did that for the whole first week. The second week, I dropped that 8 hours to six, and so I spent 18 and six, and I did fine. So last week, I started doing a 20-hour window, and I still was fine. So I thought, wow, this is a really amazing, life changing thing because I can eat in a window the rest of my life. I can adjust between a 4 and an 8 hour window and be fine. If I need to lose a little more weight, I can go to a 4 hour window. If I gain some over a period of time, I can cut it to a four. I can cut it back. I can back and forth. It's easy to navigate through, and it's easy to do, and you don't have to prep too much. You don't have to put too much effort into it. So I started to think that intermittent fasting is a really awesome tool that everybody can use. And if you don't understand the science behind it, you definitely got to do research. As I progress through the channel, I will add more about the science, but it really is an effective way of using what your body does naturally and using that to perform fat burning instead of burning, just storing the fat. I mean.
All right, in the first part of this video, I talk a little bit about the journey behind my journey and how it got started. And it's really interesting to see me, talk because I didn't remember it quite that way. I tell a lot of people when I went to Vegas was kind of the start of my journey, but it was really in March. It was about middle of March when I started to do intermittent fasting in a 16:8 protocol. And by the time I had got to vacation 2 weeks later, I was already down a massive amount of weight, 27 pounds. I don't even really remember it that way. I remember really from April 16th. That's when I got focused. When I sat down to do that video, that's when I knew intermittent fasting was for me and it was working. It's hard to remember that I was already down 27 pounds, but I was. So that's an interesting way to really look at it. I had a lot of success on a 16:8, and I did it for a month prior to even getting into OMAD. But one of the things that I found interesting in the first part of this clip was the fact that I talked about how I was eventually going to have to change my eating habits, that I was eating, but I wasn't quite, I knew I would have to switch to something, some kind of diet plan down the line some point. And here I am today, and I never switched the diet plan. I stayed doing exactly what I did in the beginning, with the exception of what OMAD has taught me along the way. And I think that that's a powerful lesson for all of us to learn, that I am eating differently, but I'm not eating differently on a particular diet that I thought I was going to have to do because I thought that's what weight loss was. So even though I was having success with a 16:8, even though I was having success, and by this point in the video I was doing OMAD, but even though I was having success with all of those different things, I thought that it was going to take eating differently to change, and it never really did. It changed a little on its own, and it's relatively a lot the same as it was day one. All right, let's get to the next part.
So in the process of that, though, I felt better and better. I felt like I needed to make sure I was um, continuing to progress through this, but I felt like I needed to reset my body. I needed to do something a little bit more. I needed to make sure my body got into ketosis. So I decided that I would go on a fast. Now, this fast, I don't really know at this point how long it is. It's been 24 hours as I sit down and record this video. It might be 48. It could be, up to a week. I don't know. I'm probably not going to go any longer than that because it's my first one, but I'm going to go until my body says, you know what, go get something to eat. I drank over a gallon of water today. I feel super good. At this point, 24 hours in, I have no headaches. I have no problems whatsoever. So I'm looking forward to finding out how far I feel comfortable now because I would like to long term fast in the future. And I feel like you got to train a little bit for that. I feel like just jumping into a long term fast may not be the healthiest situation. So, short term fasts added together with intermittent fasting. And I want to get myself going. I have a knee surgery probably in the next couple of months to replace my entire knee replacement. In the process of that, um, that's going to be, you know, a big deal in my life and a big time to reset things. Like I haven't drinking any sodas today, which I'm a big Pepsi Max fan. Anybody that knows me will tell you I'm drinking Pepsi Max all the time. I cut that out, but Pepsi Max is very high in caffeine, so my body's got to adjust to that. It's got to get rid of all this stuff.
All right, as you just saw in that part of the clip, there was a lot of stuff that I found that was really interesting because a lot of people, when they ask me how long it took me to adjust to OMAD, I feel like it was so short. And so my answer would be a couple of weeks. But in reality, you saw that I did do a 16 and 8 for a month, which is something that I didn't really think that I did. But obviously I did. So it was about a month of a 16 and 8. Now, just to let you know that I do remember this very well, that when this fasting situation came up, I went on this fast that I'm currently talking about, like where I was like, hey, I'm fasting, I'm 24 hours. That was my first 24-hour fast, and I ended up breaking it at 48 hours. But when I broke it in OMAD, and I continued to eat OMAD from that point forward. So I really look at it like the 16th of April was the birth of OMAD. I figured when I came out of that fast, I wasn't all that hungry the next day, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and skip eating, what would normally be a junk. When I talked about 20 and 4, what I was doing was coming home and eating, food, and then eating a meal, a couple hours later. So basically, I cut that aspect of it out, and I put myself into a situation where I was just eating one meal a day.
And so that I can start my journey in a new way. So the reason I wanted to start this and name the channel Turning Weight Loss Sideways is because what we hear traditionally, the food pyramid and calories in, calories out, all of the things that we hear on a day-to-day basis when we're talking about weight loss with any kind of professional, um, generally comes back as something we buy into and believe in, but the people losing weight, they regain it almost 100% of the time. And so calorie in, calorie out isn't something that's effectively changing the way that we eat and the way that we are. And 3 meals a day and something that, most of us have done our whole lives, just turns out that that may not be the right thing for our bodies. So to be able to take a step back from traditionally what we hear and try something new. The beautiful part about starting this and sharing it with other people is if it doesn't work and I'm wrong and I'm crazy, then everybody gets to watch and say, "Hey, he was crazy." But if it does work, it gets to help people, and it gets to help people all across um, find out what intermittent fasting can do for them or what they can do to change their life. And
All right, what I find really cool about this part is number one, the weight loss. My original idea was to continue to do videos after this, and then I felt really embarrassing. So I didn't make any videos until I had lost all the weight, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to start my YouTube channel. But I think what's very interesting about this is number one, the name of the YouTube channel that I had in mind at that time, Turning Weight Sideways. I mean, what a great name. I never ended up using it. Obviously, I went with Taking Down Fat with C-Dub, but hey, look, I had a good name back then. But what I find to be super cool about that clip, though, is the fact that I still wanted to help people. And I was in the middle of being, still morbidly obese and in the middle of my own struggles, and I still hadn't really figured out my niche in intermittent fasting. I hadn't figured out what is 100% going to work for me and what's going to take the weight off. But yet, in that moment, my focus was still on, hey, I want to start this channel to show people that it can be done and to help them, which ultimately I think is ingrained in my DNA. I've always been one that reaches out to try to help other people. So that part of the clip I thought was interesting.
to put themselves in a situation. And down the line, if through this fitness channel I learn more about other ways, I'll try them. I will do, 1 meal a day. I will do the warrior diet. Which is 20 and 4, which I already kind of do, but you know what I'm saying. I would add in and try any old thing down the line to see what fits in, for short periods of time, like a week. See what fits into my lifestyle. See what I like. Experiment with things. If I'm experimenting with things that ultimately get me to the goal of being a healthier person, then there's nothing wrong with it, even if I don't like it for the long term. So I do think fasting will be a part of me from this point forward. But, we'll have to take it one day at a time. So I'll hop back on tomorrow. I'll keep you guys posted on my progression and see how I'm feeling. I know a lot of people weigh in daily. I'm not that guy. I've never been that guy. I think a weekly weigh in is more accurate. If you're weighing in the same day every week, I think that's better. So 7 days from now, I'll be weighing in on Monday, and we'll see, where I've gone from there. I was at 277 today, and that is again a total of 27 from my original. I was over 300. So and we'll see if I can continue to make that fall down in weight and in journey, and hopefully it's of course I know I'm going to get a lot of water weight feedback, although I'm drinking a gallon every day, but hopefully when it's all done, it measures out to be a lot more fat than muscle and water, and we can always rebuild. I'm going to get back into the exercising and things on the other side of my surgery when I've got physical therapy and all those other things to deal with while holding out a full-time job, being a husband and taking care of two wonderful boys. So, anyways, I just wanted to give you guys a piece of my journey, and I will continue to let you know how it goes.
All right, all my last notes about this video. I think it's really interesting to hear myself talk about knowing that I could experiment in other things and adjust. And like I said, I went straight into experimenting with OMAD right there. And everything else has been, it's history. So at the end of the day, I've always said the study of one. You guys have heard it on the channel. You've got to experiment too. You've got to make it happen. But I think it's really cool to sit down and look at this video. I hope you guys enjoy looking at me then and then flashing to me now and then and now and back and forth, and you can see that's really me. That's 100% me. My mannerisms are there, the way that I talk is there, my voice sounds the same, that I did this, that I'm sitting here as a success story. And my success story came not because I am tougher than you, or not because I'm smarter, or not because I did anything. It really came because I just stayed consistent. And if you stay consistent and you get in there and you do it day in and day out, you're going to have huge gains, and you're going to be sitting here in a short period of time with everything totally different than you could have ever imagined. And that is priceless. I just wanted to make sure you guys understood the impact that you can have. And real quick, I'm going to flash this last part, and I'm going to show you how big I was then and how much weight I was gained, and you can really get an idea of, in this last clip, of how large I was. So I'm going to take the shirt off in the clip, and you guys will be able to see that I was a big boy, and I've totally turned that around. So I hope you guys enjoyed that part of it. Here goes that clip.
All right, guys, one thing that I forgot to add into that video is I wanted to give you guys a look now at the before, and then a look at the after some time down the line. So I wanted to add that in and make sure you guys knew. So I'm going to get this chair out of the way, and I'm going to show you guys so you know where the journey started and where the journey will end. All right. Thank you again, and I will see you.
All right, weight loss warriors, I hope the video was good. I hope you understand that I lost 125 total pounds. I've been in maintenance for a long time now. I probably entered maintenance in February of last year, so you're talking about almost an entire year in maintenance. And I'm going to continue to grind and get things done in such a positive way. I want you guys to consider subscribing to this channel, because the information that I provide, the tips and the tricks, They truly are priceless, and it's free to subscribe. You have a chance to click that button and get information and get motivation and get almost 5 times a week you get videos from me and a live. So, just click on that button and show me some love so that you know what's going on. And make sure you click on that bell too, because that's going to let you know when I've dropped my newest videos. All right, I know right there you guys see my face. I want you to click on it because that subscription means a lot to me and it helps this channel grow. And then the videos that are popping up everywhere, click on those too and stay on my channel. I hope you enjoyed my journey. It was fun recording this video and looking back. I'll tell you what, I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.